see everybody. I'm Dr. Susan, and I welcome you to Play and Learn. So today we're going to probably look at one of those challenges that we create from playing. And if your house is anything like mine or your room, I would account mine to my sewing room. But a lot of times I spend a whole lot of time looking for stuff that I know I have, but I can't find it. Do you ever have that challenge? I know I do. I know I have something. I remember putting it down, but I can't remember what I did with it. It's around somewhere. And I search and search and search and get usually frustrated and all that. And I'm sure at your house, if you have any challenges like that, that you have a lot of different things. And it's what do you do with all that stuff so you know where it's at. Well, the story we're going to look at this morning is called Cammy the Kangaroo, and she has too much stuff. So that kind of tells you what we're going to look a little bit about today. But the other thing too, because Cammy is supposed to be a girl kangaroo, but it doesn't matter whether you're a boy or a girl, a mom or a dad, we all usually run into this challenge. We have so many things that we love doing, that we've got going, and we put things down and we can't remember where we put them down. You know we did. So we're going to take a look at the story to see what Cammy has created for herself, and then see how we can look into that idea and what we can do for ourselves, all right? So we're going to look at the book, and I'll tell you the author as soon as we get started. All right. So let's see what Cammy is all about. Oh, I lost. It's story time. Look at all those cool characters. Do you have any of those stuffed animals? I do. I have several of those. All right, Cammy Kangaroo and Wyatt too. This is about Cammy, who has too much stuff, as you can tell by the picture. It's written by Stacy C. Bauer, and it's illustrated by Rebecca Sinclair. So just take a quick look at the cover of the storybook. All right. It was lunchtime at the kangaroo's house. Taking another bite of her salad, Cammy thought about how much fun she was going to have at her cousin Savannah's birthday party later that day. Your room needs to be cleaned before we head to Savannah's party, Cammy, Daddy Kangaroo reminded her. Okay, Cammy sighed. She was not excited about cleaning her room. So she puts her dishes away and upstairs she goes. Cammy's room was full of treasures, shells and rocks and feathers and toys. Cammy loved them all. She loved collecting them, sorting them, and building with them. Look how creative she is. Cammy peeked inside her pouch. She pulled out a brown button that had fallen off her sweater, a copper coin from Daddy, and a chipped blue block she'd found in the yard. Cammy said, what should I make with these? Her mind was overflowing with ideas. How's it going, Cammy? Mommy yelled up the stairs. Is your room clean yet? We have to leave at 1 if we're going to be on time for the party. Cammy groaned and started cleaning her room. Looked like she got more excited about the things she found in her pouch to clean her room. What could that be? Ding, ding, ding. My favorite, bell. Cammy put the bell inside her pouch and slowly continued cleaning. Suddenly she gasped. Savannah asked her to bring back her stuffed puppy. She had to find it. Look at what's going on in Cammy's head. All of her things she collects and loves. She picked up her bucket of shells. Maybe Savannah's puppy was in there. Dumped them out. Nope, just shells. But she did find 2 pretty pink shells that she quickly added to her pouch. Maybe the puppy was in the closet. Tammy tugged at the door, but it wouldn't budge. took a deep breath. Cammy yanked as hard as she could. And look what happened. All the stuff Cammy loves just came rolling out of her closet. Can you see some of those things? Do any of those things remind you of what you have at home or you have in your closet? There's a whole lot of stuff. Just a dinosaur in there, and puzzles, and a star, and a crown, a penguin. She's got lots of cool stuff. Ugh, she groaned. Oh, she kicked out her legs and clambered to her feet. I have to clean my room and find that puppy, she thought with a frown. As she hopped towards a pile of blankets, Cammy heard a muffled giggling coming from beneath it. She began digging. Suddenly, her brother popped out. Wyatt, Cammy explained, pulling him from the heap of blankets. Cammy was showing Wyatt some of her favorite rocks. When she heard the door open, she quickly slipped the rocks into her pouch. Whoops, who's peeking in the door? And Cammy then reminds herself, it's time to go, Daddy. Shoved the door open and hopped inside. He looked around the room with a frown. Cammy, your room is even messier than before. I know, but Daddy, I lost Savannah's puppy, Cammy cried. Well, what do you think you could do to find it quickly so we're not late for the party? Daddy asked. Clean my room, Cammy replied, feeling badly that she hadn't done it already. Cleaning your room can be very overwhelming, Daddy said. Let's do one thing at a time. Together, Cammy and Daddy made her bed, put her hair bows in her dresser drawer. Wyatt put Cammy's books on the bookshelf and her dolls in their bin. And Cammy was putting feathers into a little bowl on her desk, and she spied something sticking out of the drawer. Look what I found, she said triumphantly. Whew. You must be so happy, Daddy smiled. I don't like losing things, Cammy admitted, especially when they belong to someone else. Keeping my room clean will help keep track of my things. Cammy was proud she had found Savannah's puppy, and her room was finally clean. If everyone's ready to go, we're going to be late, Mommy called. Yes, I cleaned my room and found Savannah's puppy. Cammy stopped and rummaged around inside of her pouch to show Mommy. Oh no, she began. She began to empty her pouch out into the yard. Not again, she cried. I don't want to miss the party. Didn't you just have it, Daddy asked Cammy? Daddy asked. Cammy felt around inside her pouch again. Got it, she exclaimed with relief. Now look where all her toys are again. Great, let's go, Mommy said. As they hopped to the car, Daddy tripped over tools in the garage. Cammy chuckled. Daddy, maybe both of us need to keep our things more organized. You're right about that, Cammy, Daddy Kangaroo laughed. I think it's safe to say this whole family has a lot of too much stuff, Mommy said. Tomorrow we'll spend some time organizing. Now let's go to that party. The end. Really, it wasn't the end. It's kind of just the beginning of Cammy the Kangaroo and the kangaroo family learning about getting organized. And how many of you have that challenge at home? I know I do, as we talked about just a few minutes ago. And now you kind of see what it kind of looks like from outside, looking inside. If you were went to Cammy's house and got to see all the things that she has, you get an idea of what your house might look like or your room might look like. This isn't everybody. Some people are just totally organized all the time. I'm not one of those people. I get organized and then I get busy with a project and I put things here and put things there, and you know, I'm walking around getting this, getting that, and I have this in my hand and I put it down, and so I kind of do that too. One of my promises I make to myself is when I finish a project, I promise myself that I'm going to put everything back where I got it when I started the project. That helps a little bit. It really makes a big difference because the next project that I start, I know where my scissors and my thread and all that other stuff that I need to do a project is ready and able, and I'm able to find it. So one of the things about the story is about getting organized. And when we look around and we see all this stuff all over the place and we get so frustrated with ourselves that we can't find what we want, or we look at maybe our brothers or our sisters and say, where did you put my stuff? Where did you take this? Where did you take that? Did you take my this or did you take my that? Because you can't find where you put it last. And sometimes that can be very frustrating. So for us, from what Cammie was experiencing, we don't have a pouch on us, thank goodness, because we'd probably fill it and have a very hard time walking around. But you may do that with maybe a box or a bin or something like that that you take where you go. So I have some ideas about how we do that. The last thing that I'm going to do is something that you can create, and you can put your little treasures in, and you can hang them in your room, and then you kind of know where your little treasures are. That's okay. You have to ask Mom if it's okay for you to do that. But what we're going to be making, you can put the handle over a hanger and hang it in your closet if you have room in your closet. So you have another way of not having it on the floor, not having it in a box, but you know where exactly it is. It's hanging up. So we're going to look at that too. But anyway, Cammie had all of this stuff. I brought some of the stuff that my grandsons play with, and some crayons. That we have crayons all over our house. The biggest thing that we have around my house is Legos. We have lots and lots and lots and lots of Legos, and they get everywhere. One of the things that I helps my grandsons with is that the Legos come with, I think most of you know, they come with little people that come apart, and sometimes there's cars that come all the way apart. They're all Legos. And you know, you can recreate it in a new way each time you build with them. But all those pieces get all mixed together. And then when they want to build something specific, they have to do a whole lot of searching. So we decided, because we have the organizing challenge, we decided that what if I made some special bags for them to keep their things in? And if they have cars, the parts that they need to make the cars can go in one bin or one bag, and the other parts can go in the big bin, which like the bodies of the cars. Some of them are about like this big, and there's wheels kind of like that, you know, those kind of things. So what we did is we created some bags. So we have a lot of these bags at home, and this is one of the ways in which the boys keep their Legos organized. And they put their parts that they make cars and things like out of this one. This one's out of dinosaur material, and it has a nice zipper, and they can see what's inside. That's the cool part about the fun bag. So if you are going to be working on organizing your room and your stuff so it's easier to find things, which is a good habit to get into, and a good practice to always do every day, is to put your things in the same place you got them out before. And these can hang on a hook, or they can hang on a hanger in your closet. It's another one of the things that we decided would be fun to create. And they decided on the color of the material they like. But you can find bags like this all over the place. But anyway, that's what we did with one of our Lego challenges. That's just one of the challenges. So we have that. And Cammie could put some of her things in something like this too. Some of her, let's see, we saw balls, and we saw stars and all kinds of things that she can put in here, and put her stuff inside this. So this is kind of something you could talk to Mom about if you wanted to organize your stuff. But that's one way to organize your things so that you know where they are. Because nothing's better than saying, oh, I know exactly where that is, and be able to go right to that bag or box or whatever you decide to put your things in, and open it up, and there it is. Yay! You don't have to look, and you don't have to waste your time, your playtime, or the things that you're making. You don't have to waste your time looking for something. You just know exactly where it is. So that was one of the things that's Cammie's challenge. So one of the other things that I thought about, and that I have with some of my things at home, is I have this box, and this box has got pockets. Well, I call them pockets, but they're not. They're little bins. So you can see them like that. I'm sure Mom has stuff like that at home for you guys. But one of the ways is to organize your things so that you know where they are, And this is some of this stuff. And so we have these beads. You know, I don't know how many of you have beads hanging around at home, but we can stick them in one of these little bins. And a lot of these bins and things you can pick up at the store. I don't think you could quite make them. And then they have this other little jewelry box thing. And, you know, here's the rings. Let's put the ring in there. And there's an earring, I think. And another piece of earring that looks like it. And there's that. So we can put those in there, and we know where they are, and they can go in the box. And then, here's that's a pretty turtle. So there's that. And we'll stick this back in here, because it's kind of jewelry, so we'll stick it in this little one like that. So if you have little boxes that you can put your things in, I found another one, then you can go ahead and put your stuff in there like that. Then at least you know that if you have rings, I'm talking to girls and things like that, you can put them in little boxes and then put them in a bigger box, but you know where it's at. Now I like to collect stones and different rocks and things that are very pretty. So this one is one of my favorite ones. It's called Element. So I don't know what element this rock is, but it's an element. And here's the very shiny one. We'll put that in there. And there's a blue one. I just like pretty rocks. So I have those sitting usually on my dresser in a bowl. And do I have any other rocks? Here's another one. I'll put that one in there. And these have because it has little sections, you can keep certain things in certain places. Like we have all these, there's more jewelry. And we have all these little stones. They're plastic stones. Excuse me. And they're going to go in this one. But this is another way that you can organize your things too, is by getting a bin or a box that has room for you to put all of this stuff in. And then you know where it's at the next time you go looking for it. So we're going to put all these in here. I just wanted to show you one of the things that I use that might be helpful for you. And these are little ornaments, I guess. They're little, looks like a little Christmas decoration. So we'll put those in with the shiny stuff. But so we have all that. So we can separate it out by using this, like that. And then when it comes to your crayons or markers and things like that you have, you can always, now I have this one. I like this one because it separates all my colors. And it's a little caddy, and you just roll it up. And you keep your crayons all in one place, and it ties. So this is another way of being able to, and you can find something like this at the store, or if Mama's creative and can sew, she can make you one. Or if you're creative and you can sew, you can make you one. And that goes in the box too. So now we've taken all of this stuff that looked pretty messy, almost like Cammie's closet, and we put it in one box. And then this fits nicely on the shelf. Okay? So that's one of the ways in which you can help organize your things so that you know where they are. And this fits on a little bookshelf, or it can fit in your closet. So there's another way and a different idea as to how you can store your things. And then, of course, also bags that you can hang up. Now, if you don't have bags like that, and I'm going to show you this too. You can always find these bags. Maybe Mommy has a bunch of them, but they have a drawstring. And put some of your special things in there. And you can put it in your dresser door, or again, you can hang it on a hanger. You can do a lot of things by hanging it on a hanger. And then you know where it is next time you're looking for it. So what I wanted to show you was a way in which you can create your own little things to put your little treasures and things in. You can't get big things in this, but you can put your little treasures in it. But it's I don't know if we've made them before. We may have. But and I've got a pattern for you to see. It's one of the, it's like a cone. It's a cone, actually. And you just twist it. That's after you cut the pattern. I'll show you how to do that in a second. And what the other fun part, too, is you can decorate it and make it cool. So maybe if you think this is just going to be for stones or something, but you're going to line up the top and pull the bottom in so you don't lose anything out the bottom. So make the the cone thing tight like that. Then you can spread it out up here so that it's even. And you push it down and pull the bottom in. It doesn't have to be even at the top if you don't want it to be. Depends on how tight you want the cone. But the wider you have it, then the wider the cone shape can be. So you're going to take tape. You can use glue too if you wanted to. It just takes a little bit of time to dry. But you do that. And then if you do have a space at the bottom, you know, a space the cone didn't come all the way together, like this one. We'll tape the rest of it before we lose it all here. See, and then we'll tape up here. And you just play around with it when you're twisting, like that. Okay. And just put tape in different places to keep it together. If you want to use glue, you could use glue too. You just tape it like that. So we have that. Now again, if you have a little hole at the bottom, just take your tape and close it like that. Tape it like that, then go around the other way. And then whatever you put in there is not going to come falling out the hole, okay? So we've kind of made the cone. And this, you can get some of the things in that you like. It's like maybe if you work with, if you do stuff with lanyards, or you do stuff with string, or anything like that. Or even if you have the little tiny, like golf balls and things like that you play with, those would fit in there. So I'm going to show you how to make this, and then I'll show you how to do the handle. It's really pretty easy. But the best part about this is you can decorate it or create any kind of a design you want on that. And I do have my markers with me today. So I'm going to decorate it a little bit. And another fun thing to do is if you know exactly what you're going to put in it, you can write on the outside of it what it is. And then you'll be able to see what that item is that you are putting inside there. So I'm going to kind of do like a mosaic on mine. So I'm just going to go different designs, just like this. It can be anything you want. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything. Like maybe you're going to put little cars in there. You may want to draw a car on it, if that's what you like, or any of those other things. And then you have space that you can write things too. It's like I think maybe on this one, because I would keep it in my sewing room, then I think I would put I think I would put my short pieces, my little short pieces of ribbon that I use for lots of different things. So I'm going to take my blue, I'm going to put colored like that, and another different color, ribbon, whoop, colored ribbon, well, do blue pieces, and this one I would pin up in my on my bulletin board that I have in my sewing room, and I would pin it up and I would pin it there. Then I can see exactly where I had put my little pieces of ribbon. So, and you can color it and make it a cool design or anything that you want to do. But the fun part is that you can write on the outside and know what you have. If you want to, and you're going to write specifics, you may want to do the decorating first and then write your words of what's inside, because when you curl it a little bit, you're going to cover up some of the writing that you did. So instead of having to do things twice, you only have to do things once. Okay? So we'll decorate this just a little bit. But this is another way. One of the other things that we get ourselves frustrated with and we have a hard time with sometimes is our clothes. You know, it's like when you get yourself undressed and you need to hang your jacket up or your sweater up, or you forget to hang your jacket or your sweater up and it just lays on the floor or on a chair, and then the next time you want it, you have to go searching for it. And, you know, did I hang it up? Did I put it on my chair? What did I do with it? That kind of thing. There's just a rough idea of the coloring that you can do. I made a line before I colored right around here to create the cone. And then you just trim off that line, just like that. And you can just experiment with it by folding the paper, and I'll show you that with the, this is with a pattern. If you're going to do it without a pattern, if you don't have a pattern to create, then you just lay the paper, grab it at the corner, the other one comes to the top, and you go around like this, and then this part you play with to see what kind of a cone you want to make. You can make it tight, or you can make it loose and then cover it. So see, there's that one, just like that. And then you can put your tape and stuff on it, okay? So that's one of the ways that you can do that if you don't have a pattern like I have here. But the other thing that you're going to need is a handle, especially if you're planning on hanging it up in your closet, right? So I just take an 8.5 piece of paper, and I fold it about 3 times and make a narrow handle like this. And then I take Scotch tape and I tape it on the side like this, just like that. But this is just some of the different ways in which you can create a special place for the things in your room that you really want to know where they are. It's like if you do sports and you do a lot of sports, and it's not the sports equipment that you have, you don't necessarily keep in the garage, depending on what your mom and dad want you to do with it, you know, so that you can keep it. You can see if you can get a foot locker or a big box or something like that that your baseball bat will fit in, or tennis racket, or whatever sport you play. And you can have that in your room, and then that's the only thing you put in there. And that helps keep your sports equipment, you know, in a safe place. Then you don't dump books and things like that on top of them, and you have to go digging for everything, which makes a bigger mess, as we saw with Cammie when she had put the puppy in her pouch, and then she couldn't find it again, so she had to take everything out of her pouch in order to find the puppy that she knew she put there. So that would be another way to organize your things so that you're not having to do that. The one other cool part about when you organize your stuff and know where things are, that makes you think a little bit more on the organized base. So your mind doesn't feel so confused and frustrated because you can't remember where things are, where you put things when you finished. So that's another thing that you can do. Okay, so we've done that. So now we're going to take this because we want to have a handle. We're going to make a handle. This is just, I want to do the 2 of the papers, although we could use 1, I guess. 1 will work. You take your handle and you tape it on the inside, or you can staple it. I don't have my stapler out here right now, so we're going to use tape. And tape your handle one side like this. It's like this is, I think we've made these before, but it's a fun thing to have, or it's a great thing to have if you have little things that you don't want to get lost, you don't want to put them in a drawer because then you have to search through the drawer, that you can just hang them on a hanger. I didn't bring a hanger with me, but you can just put it on a hanger and you hang it just like that in your closet, and that's where you write here what it is you created or whatever it is you put in it. You know, this would be probably a fun thing to make if mom and dad keep forgetting where they put their keys. You could help them with that. You could help mom and dad organize mom and dad by making a key holder for them, and it could hang on a hook in the kitchen or the hallway or wherever, and or you can put it in the hall closet on a hanger and say, just write keys on it. So that's another thing to do if you have to remember some of the equipment and things that you have. But the best part about this is the one I did, and you'll see what I mean if we decorate it before and we write words and things on it, we might have to write the words someplace else because we covered up our work. So make your coefficient. Now this is a wide one. You can do that by however you create your point at the bottom. So this is just a different shape. You can create all kinds of fun shapes and stuff with this. But if you have card games and if you have different things like that that you play games with and stuff, this is okay for the little pieces if you're not sure where you want to keep them. And this is a little wider, and you can get a little bigger objects in this one. And you can do the same thing. You just make a hanger, and you can hang it. You can make a hanger on this side, and you just do it flat. I'll do one like this. You do it flat like this, and tape this there. I'll show you the other ways that the hanger can go on so that you're able to hang it differently by ways in which it falls on the hanger. So you do that. And on this side, come up like that. It's not a difficult thing to do, but it's one way in which to put those little precious things you don't want to lose or end up throwing away accidentally because you have them under papers or in a box you think is empty, and you throw it away. Now this one will hang flatter against the hanger. See, so there's another design that you can do. Okay? So there's that one. And if you want to, you can just trim off the edges to make it rounder if you'd like to do that. But this is some of the ways in which you can create extra space or extra areas to hang things or put things that are important to you, and you don't want to lose them or misplace them or end up throwing them away accidentally because they were in a box or wherever that you have mixed up with maybe magazines and stuff like that that you might have in your room. But being organized is one of the ways that you organize your mind too, because when you have things in space and in place and you practice putting everything back, it's like when I said when I finish a project and I finish with my equipment that I used to make the project, I put it back the same place that I got it. So it's a good practice. It's a practice of being aware of where your environment is, and it's also a practice of being able to go right where you want to go to get something to do another project. Or, like, it's probably very frustrating if you want to play baseball and you can't find your ball, right? Or if you want to play a game and you didn't put the pieces all back in the box, and then you don't have all the pieces, so you aren't able to play the game you want to play it next time. So that's a good thing to keep all the game pieces in the box that you're playing with. That's a better place to keep those than in something like this. But it just gives you different places to do things, but it also gives you a way to practice organizing yourself so that you cut down on your frustration and less things you have to pick up in your room and just all those different things. So being organized is very helpful not only for yourself, but for your mom and your dad and your family. Nothing's worse than stepping on 10,000 Legos in the living room. Trust me, I know that. Which is why we decided on doing the bags, because then the bags were right where the boys want it, and they know where to go to get it, and then they can go ahead and build and do all the creating that they love to create with their Legos. And then we don't have to step on them and pick them up all the time. So there's a whole lot of reasons to keep yourself organized. It helps you feel better, feel organized, and find the things you want to find in a hurry instead of having to search and search and search. Unless you like to play search and rescue or search and find. If you like to play that, then that's a great game to play. But you don't have to. So anyway, those are a few ideas that you can do by yourself, and mom and dad doesn't have to do that with you. Something you can do by yourself in organizing the room that you want your environment to be, that you want to, how you feel about what you want it to look like, and cut down on your frustration too. So there's some different ideas. So I hope you enjoy the ideas and are able to use some of them, but allow yourself to put things back where you take them out of in the beginning, because that helps organize your mind too when you get ready to step into other and larger things that could cause you frustration if we don't know where our things are that we need to do the things we're going to do. All right? So you guys have a great time. Have a good week, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.